So it's already the middle of November. That means 2020 is already almost over. I feel like the older you get, the faster these years just fly right on by. I remember exactly what I was doing earlier this year, last year around this time. I remember that. I know I can probably speak for myself when I say 2020 is definitely one of the best years I've ever lived, because I have lived this year, and I will explain more about that in a second. And I know I can speak for everybody when I say we will never forget 2020, because this has been a hell of a year. If you live in the US, we just got done with the election, and not only that, of course, the virus that has been taking control over this entire year. But I just wanted to reminisce real quick and recap about 2020 and why I say this is definitely one of my best years I've lived. Hopefully next year is just as good or even better, because I have definitely made up for lost time. The fact that I kind of fell off a little bit, bounced back, and things have definitely gotten pretty interesting this year. I definitely put myself in a better place so I can do what I want further on in the future. So if you guys are ready to get into this video, stick around. And yes, I am inside of the cab of a Ram 2500. The other backgrounds that I used to film are either occupied or there's stuff going on. So I mean, I hope you enjoy this scenery. If somebody walks up behind me and stares me in the back of the head, they'll be okay. I'll only be a couple of minutes. So if you guys are ready for this video, and sorry about the random b-roll shots as well, but you guys will see my Snapchat stories from what I describe in this video, because I like to upload on Snapchat a lot. I don't know why I upload on Snapchat a lot more often than I do Instagram, TikTok, or stuff like that. It's just easy to edit those 10-second, to make a 10-second video, edit it, and then just put it on there with music and stuff like that, because you guys know my Snapchat stories be popping. I don't know why I upload on there a lot more than I do anywhere else. Anyway, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, because I'm just going to be talking about why I feel like I have lived this year. And I know I can't say the same thing for everybody else, but I've definitely have some interesting stories to tell you guys. So stick around and let's go ahead and get right into it. You guys know I used to work at a Ford dealership, and that dealership immediately started to fall off almost as soon as I got hired, right? We were understaffed, so badly understaffed to the point to where there were service advisors washing cars for their customers, right? It was ridiculous. Like, everybody was doing somebody else's job. Complete bullshit. But I hung in there. I stuck with this dealership because it just felt like I was supposed to stick with them. I don't know, because this is a whole different story. I'm gonna save this for a different video. But after I graduated high school, right, I thought about what can I do that I'm already doing just to make money in the meantime, so I can find what I want to do in life, right? So I thought about detailing cars, and I also thought about, what's my favorite car brand? Ford. There we go. Got hired just like that. Well, not just like that, but you get the gist. Now, back to the story. We were extra understaffed, so it was already hard to keep up with, do I really want to still be here at this dealership, even though I was only there for about a good 5 or 6 months, right? So in total, I was there for about a year and a half, right? So when Corona hit in March, it made everything even worse, because we were already so understaffed. But the fact that we didn't really have any business because of the virus, everybody was scared to come out and stuff like that, it made it even worse. So even more people started to leave, even more people started to get laid off. It was ridiculous, right? It was just getting worse and worse and worse, to the point like, is this dealership gonna close down? But for some reason it didn't. People were still staying there, or people just suffered through it, right? And also at this time, I was also making up for lost time with the ladies. I didn't have a lot of luck, in my early kid years and teenager years. I didn't really have a lot of luck as my friends did with the females for whatever reason. Like, my friends had plenty of luck, but they would never toss me the magic wand, or whatever they were doing. I had no clue, but I figured it out. I dug in the dirt and found my own magic wand, and it was powerful enough for me to use it, and I was catching up just like that. Anyway, we're not gonna keep talking about that. That's a whole different topic. But just know that I was making up for lost time with the ladies. Now, back to the job. So they hired a couple new people, and one of the new employees, somebody accused me for harassing them on Snapchat. And I'm like, I only have one of my coworkers, only had one from that job, I only had one coworker Snapchat, and me and her are best friends still to this day. And I'm like, what? And I didn't even really get a chance to explain, and if I did, I don't know what to explain. I mean, I don't know what the heck they're talking about in the first place. Like, you just gonna make up some bullshit pathetic lie and just get me out of there. By that time, I was there for about a year and 3 months, man, and they just let me go like that, right? I wasn't really surprised because I financed the car from there earlier that year, back in February. I made the deal with a good friend there. He was like an older salesman and stuff like that. He was there for a long time, and he was almost about ready to retire. And I made the sale with him because, you know, we already talked. We already pretty much knew each other. So I was like, yeah, give me a good deal on this car. And they let him go like that because, you know, the business was slow, and he was there for 12 years, dude. He was one of the best salesmen there at that dealership, and they let him go just like that, which is crazy, dude. I was just like, wow. I mean, it was sad to see him go because we made a deal. Like, he was my first new car sale, you know, when they made up that lie, that bullshit lie. It didn't really surprise me, but it did kind of hurt a little bit. I was like, damn, I was there for about a year and 3 months, y'all just gonna get rid of me just like that? I'm over here like I'm doing all kinds of stupid bullshit jobs y'all asked me to do because we're so understaffed, and they still cut me just like that. So that was about early August, like August 6th, right? The rest of August and like early September, I'm filling out applications constantly. I use this website or app called Indeed, right? It totals up your resumes that you submitted, and in total I think I had like 90 something because I was putting them in. I was putting in applications, bop. But in the meantime, I have about 3 or 4 close friends that I normally hang out with. Other than that, if I'm not hanging out with them, I'm at work. Of course, there's one in my Snapchat stories right there. You see him mostly in my Snapchat stories because this was just around the time where I was hanging out with him for these months. And we started doing a lot of activities that I didn't think I was gonna do in a long time, like off-roading, hiking. We bought some air guns and we started shooting those off. That was pretty fun. Fishing, you know, like all kinds of random stuff that it was pretty cool at the time. But then in my head, I was like, okay, this is fun and all, but I want to go back to work. I want to go back to waking up, you know, to a job to where I actually like to go do. I know I don't get paid as much money, like, you know, a lot of money, but you know, it's one thing where you actually wake up and you want to go to work. I fell in love with the new car dealership experience, right? And that's where I pretty much wanted to be for at least a while, you know. I mean, you know, you don't want to be a bum and not do anything. So I was like, you might as well just do something. Plus, I have our inventory to make videos in. So, you know, well, the Ford dealership was extra stuck. This dealership, you can actually breathe a little bit more, and you can take your time and do what you need to do. But on that Ford dealership, like, they didn't even want you to leave the lot with any car but your own. It was ridiculous, and it was just so tight, you know. They didn't trust anybody for anything, which is stupid because we're all adults here, right? We should be able to at least, like, you know, we want to test drive something ourselves, like, can we at least do that? Anyway, much better dealership than what I was back then. This one is 100 million billion times better. But let's get back to when I didn't have this job just yet. A little bit late in September, and I was getting sick of it. Like, I was having fun with my friends and stuff like that, but I was kind of getting sick of just not doing anything anymore. So it was a Friday. I put my foot down. I woke up that morning because I already had a drug test to go take for a BMW dealership that morning. Once they tell you to take the drug test, like, you're pretty much hired. So I knew I was gonna get hired right there. There was a lot of jobs. What was going on was that, like, I would fill out the application and I would probably get a little bit of interviews and no calls back. It was stupid. And you know, finally around that time where I started to put my foot down, I was getting a couple calls back after the interviews, but it wasn't really what I wanted. But I knew I was gonna have to take something because I got 3 cars and I can't just be sitting around doing nothing. I knew I was gonna have to take something even if it wasn't what I wanted. But I took the drug test that morning at the BMW dealership. There was a bunch of dealerships that I wanted to work at, and I've been filled out the application. So that morning after I took that drug test, I put my foot down and I said, you know what? They're not calling me back. I'm not getting any type of info, but I am going to walk in there and talk to them face to face and see what's going on. So that day I went to about 12 or 13 dealerships that I've already filled out. Even a couple of them I didn't even fill out applications, but most of them I did fill out the applications. And I went in there and asked to speak with either the general manager or the service manager, whoever was available. And of course, oh, he's not in right now, you leave your information and stuff like that. You know how they never call you back or get in contact back with you again. A couple of them, they had me fill out like a paper application. Just things weren't really going the way I planned. I only talked to like probably about like 2 or 3 managers, and they all just told me the same thing, just leave your information, you know. Kia, that was a paper application. Volkswagen, they said he wasn't in right now, he'll call back later, even though I didn't even leave they didn't even give me a chance to leave my number. Dodge Chrysler Jeep, which they said he wasn't in either, but they told me to fill out another paper application. Chevy, Toyota. After Toyota, I went back home dressed in a full suit because I already knew what was popping when I stepped into the Mercedes dealership. Had a suit on just for that. They said he was in a meeting and they told me to leave my information. No, they gave me his information at the Mercedes dealership. Went back home, got out of the suit, dressed in some regular clothes, kept going. My last stop, I told myself this was gonna be my last stop because I was already getting tired. Talking to him for the longest because I went in his office and, you know, I told him, you know, what I was looking for. I told him who I am, you know, things like that, what I do right now. And he said, well, let me call around real quick and make sure all our positions are filled, right? You know, I was standing there for a good minute and, you know, he called around, made sure it was good to go, that he had all his positions filled. And he was like, yeah, we got all of them. After he got off the phone, he was like, yeah, we got all of them filled. Just leave your name and your number and I'll call you back, of course. Like that was like the 7th time I heard that day. He said, leave your name and number and, you know, oh, we'll call you back if we have any openings, or, you know, I'll check later, stuff like that. And I was like, okay, you know, me thinking, you know, I'm not trying to think negative, but I already pretty much know what happens when they say that. They don't do it. So I left it, you know, I was like, okay, cool, thanks, you know, shook his hand and left. And I'm going down the freeway and I'm just about to make my exit. I get off right at the red light. I get a call. I wasn't gonna pick it up because I was just exhausted. I was like, you know, phone's ringing, and then I picked it up, and it was him. He was like, hey, are you still in the area? And I was like, I said, yeah, but I wasn't. But I said, yeah, because, you know, I wanted to hear what he was saying. I wanted to, you know, I know it was gonna be something important. And he was like, yeah, come back to the office where you were just at. And I was like, okay, you know, so I turned around, got back on the freeway, and came back over there. This time when I walked in there, it was another manager in there. And you know how dealerships have like group, it'll be Doss's Chevy, Doss's Cadillac, and Doss's Buick. You know what I'm saying? It'll be like in a group, normally roughly in the same city. So he asked me, when did I want to start? And basically he just hired me right there. Hired me just like that right there. Didn't even know my last name, but he hired me right there. Shook my hand and asked me when I wanted to start. It was a Friday, so I went ahead and said Monday just to make it even. And he hired me right there just like that. Just the fact that I woke up that morning and said what I was gonna do, you know, I really pushed it. That afternoon was extra satisfying. I was just thinking like, wow, I really just did that. Gave me what I wanted, you know, a job, something that I want to do, something that I like waking up in the morning and going to. You know, it's a little emotional because I really did put in a lot of work and a lot of effort. That day was unbelievably exhausting, but at the end of the day, I woke up and did what I said I was gonna do. That afternoon, it was just incredibly worth it, and I just felt like I could do something because this dealership is a lot more relaxed. It's not so uptight as the Ford dealership was. You couldn't even leave the lot. If you one tire touched the pavement that separated the concrete from the actual parking lot, it's a wrap for you, man. Like here, we're all adults. I'm definitely in a way better place than I was earlier this year. You know, I love being comfortable at a job. So I've been here at this job for about a good 10 weeks now. It's going on about 10 weeks and I'm loving it, like McDonald's. Anyway, this year didn't really feel like as lockdowny as it is because of the virus and stuff like that. You know, all the lockdowns that everybody's having. I was still living my life. So, you know, I didn't really feel locked down at all. I was still doing me, you know. I wore my mask, you know, I wear my mask, you know, pretty often and stuff like that still, because I just like covering up my face. And you know, 2020 has definitely been a year. It went by so fast to me. I know I didn't even explain half the stuff I did in this year in this video, but I just wanted to, you know, keep this channel, you know, live and keep my posts persistent, because you guys know, you know, I'm only uploading like once a week, but don't worry, I'm gonna get better. I'm gonna need 2 and then 3 and then 4, but it's hard to come up with material right now. And of course, you know, full-time job, it's a little bit, I can't really just have my hands on the camera all the time. It's a little frustrating, but you know, it's gonna work out. Trust me, this is gonna eventually be my B-roll camera, because I'm gonna get another camera that actually is fitted for a microphone and, you know, the little flip screen that comes out and stuff like that too. So, you know, don't worry, things are gonna get better and it's gonna keep progressing very quickly, because DOS dedicated. That's just channel dedicated. It's the dedication. Okay, as far as all my other social medias go, you guys know I'm on Snapchat pretty much all the time. TikTok, you know, I try. And then Instagram is kind of like just floating around. But anybody who's still watching this video, which you're probably not, I just wanted to ask a question. My favorite song is Hopeless Romantics, right? Because it describes the hell out of my situations that I have with romantics, because they're hopeless. I just had a simple question for you guys. How would you feel if God created your soulmate, right? Like everything you wanted in a girl, right? Like every feature, everything you wanted as far as her lifestyle and things like that goes, created your soulmate, like pretty much the perfect soulmate, right? But tweaked her brain a little bit to where it's not even, it's like to where she doesn't like you back the same way. You know, it's like, it looks like, it feels, it sounds like she's your soulmate. But he's like, just tweaked a nice little brain cell that just changes her total perspective on everything. Like she doesn't even know you exist. Well, I'm talking about that in a different video because I've already said too much, I guess. But I like this. I like these videos that I'm making, you know, just talking, because this is always what I wanted to do and stuff like that. My comparison videos, you guys know those are getting a little bit better. I know I need more facts about the cars, okay? I'm just starting out, relax, all right? But thank you guys for watching. I'm probably not going to be recording in a truck all the time. This is just somewhere where I wanted to just whip out the camera real quick, pop, take a couple videos, and boom, that's about it. You know, if y'all want me to keep recording in the truck, I can keep recording in the truck, I guess. You know, I'll have like a brighter interior. I like the brown interior that they have. This one's just black and brown, but I want the actual brown that goes on around it. Anyway, thank you guys for watching the video. 2020 has definitely been a year for me. I hope next year is just as good or even better, because I have definitely made up for lost time this year. And we're definitely going to stay dedicated for next. So, thank you guys for watching. That's it. Oh wait, that's it?